Hello and welcome into Modern Dynasty. Today we got the Data Dogs.
Oh,
Woo! That's me, Ray, and Marty, the Fantasy Footboy,
yo,
coming
yo.
at you with some.
Yeah, we got some. We got some.
Yeah,
Little some.
yeah,
We got
yeah,
some live best ball drafts here on Underdog.
yeah.
So yeah, this is actually going to be our first draft of the year. We're gonna wait for this to fill up here. Got it on 30-second timers. Probably some of you that know Underdog are familiar with the settings, but those of you who are not, I'll review them for you real quick. We do have a half point PPR. So it's not your full point PPR settings that maybe a lot of you play in your standard leagues. And it is a 4-point passing touchdown. Outside of that, pretty much everything is the same. -2 for fumbles, and the same for your rushing and passing as your standard leagues. As far as your roster size goes, you do have one quarterback, two running backs, three wide receivers, one tight end, one flex, and then 12 bench spots. So yeah, Ray
And
and I are
we,
going to be doing some drafts here together. We didn't want to join the same draft and end up competing with each other for who's going to get those playoff spots to moving on to the second round. So start
yeah,
off
we're
doing
going for
some
that
draft.
big money today, you know?
Yeah, start off with some little big money, and ramp up into the big money is probably later here in the summer once you get a
Yeah.
little feel of how some of the ADPs are playing out. So
Yeah.
Ray, how do you like to build some of your dynasty best ball leagues as we're trying to get this
Well,
filled out?
my focus when I'm creating a best ball team is not taking zeros. There's going to be a lot of guys that have a lot of value in lineup leagues that are going to be relatively useless to us in best ball. And so those are going to be like your backup running back guys that, you might be taking them with a second or third round pick in your rookie drafts. But in best ball, when they're a zero 13 out of the 17 weeks, that's not very useful to our roster. So we're going to be looking, maybe not some of the sexiest guys, but we're going to be looking at guys that score points every week. And something that we also need to think about is we are not going to have any access to the waiver wire. So we're not going to be taking very risky picks on maybe some guys that have injury history. We might be avoiding that. And, some people that are potential risers and fallers. We'll maybe bet on risers more than somebody that has an opportunity of losing their position this year.
Yeah, no, for sure. I think for me, I like the very similar strategy. I do think maybe I'll take it. I like to take some risks on a lot of these rookies. They especially early on in these best ball drafts. I think a benefit of doing a lot of the Debbie and Dynasty work that we do, we might have a little bit of an edge on some of these names, and it's all about dart throws. I mean, by the end of the year, or by the time season starts, we'll probably have 60 or 70 of these live drafts in. So,
Mm-hmm.
game of numbers right now. There's a lot of good values because people don't know what to do. They're not sure if these running backs are going to get the draft capital, where they're going to land. So I think there's a few rookies that I'll be willing to take some darts on in some of the later rounds, both wide receivers and running backs as well.
Yeah, definitely.
So
It's
still waiting on some people here to fill out this draft. So what do you think about for your quarterback strategy? Are you? I know they're starting to go earlier and earlier with some of these elite quarterbacks being difference makers. How do you feel about taking those running backs early versus possibly doing a little more waiting?
I like taking my quarterbacks and running backs earliest. Like I believe that we might be heading to a point where the dynasty superflex value of these wide receivers is swaying everybody, and like making them overvalue them in these kind of drafts. So I'm going to tend to stay away and not fight those people for the top receivers in best ball because I'm confident in our ability to pick down the bench guys that are going to be productive and make it up into that starting roster.
Yeah, no, I like that. I think with the wide receivers, I think there is a clear top group. Your Justin Jefferson, your Jamar Chase, your Cooper Cups, your Tyreek Hills, Stephon Diggs, still in that category. Um, but after that, I do think that there's a lot of people that start reaching for wide receivers where there's really a bigger bucket of players that have similar boom weeks,
Yeah.
where you can be locking in some of those guaranteed points at maybe your an elite tight end or some of your high end running backs that are still on the board at that point.
Yeah, this goes back to kind of looking at the warp data and realizing that if we don't have a top 5 wide receiver, it doesn't matter if we have 6 through 20 because they're all going to perform about the same.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure. Yeah, I know. I did a few of these best ball drafts last year. I definitely enjoyed taking. I'm doing some of the early pre-draft best ball leagues. Um, you know, I was a big pre-draft fan of Garrett Wilson, which I just felt like he was the safest wide receiver in the class. And then, not gonna lie, he lands in the Jets, and I didn't really love his year one output projections. But he definitely ended up carrying my team into the playoffs. Several leagues, especially there down the stretch, looked really good. I don't think I'm going to be getting quite the value on Garrett Wilson that I was last year. I'm really curious on where he's going to be going in this draft. Um, would you be surprised if he goes? I mean, he's already looking projected in the top 12. You
Yeah.
confident taking him as a top 12 wide receiver and redraft?
I don't think what did he have, like 5 15-point games or so last year? I don't think that's enough to sway me up to the first or second round of this draft.
Yeah, I mean, he did have 147 targets as a rookie. I can
Which is great,
imagine.
yeah.
Yeah, I mean, he could probably it's probably going to go up. At least the touchdowns, I would imagine, are going up.
Yeah.
If anything, Aaron Rodgers in the red zone is a red zone machine on his own. His years with Devontae Adams, and even with Aaron Jones, I'd say half of his touchdowns felt like were coming out of the backfield or these little dump offs within the 5 yard line.
Yeah.
Any other team's going to use that 245, 250-pound bruiser and AJ Dillon and just cram it. But as I know as an AJ Dillon owner, that's not always the case.
Nope, they have a tendency to pull them out in those moments where I get the most excited.
Yep, for sure.
Yeah,
Still waiting on 5 more people here.
Yeah, so while we wait for some people to fill up this draft, maybe you could fill up our subscribers. Hop in there, subscribe to our channel if you like the content. Give us a like, leave a comment, let us know how we're doing. And yeah, we're going to get more of these going. We're going to keep improving our game here, getting smoother on the camera and, delivering you guys the information that you need to help build your teams.
Yeah. Also, my favorite part of honestly making content, to be honest, is doing these trade shows. We're going to be doing one of them weekly, so please go on, submit your trades. I have our Twitter handle posted below at Modern Dynasty FF on Twitter. Comment your trades below. Honestly, give us some trades that you're thinking about working on, and we'll help you work through them. I love going through rosters. I'm a very active trader in my leagues. I make probably 50 trades within every season easily. So
if you watch any other dynasty content on YouTube and you watch a trade show, I guarantee you've seen Fantasy Footboy's name pop up before.
Yep, and I always win. I always win.
Yep,
no matter
what.
Always win. All right. Well, Ray, I do have a question of the week for you. You
All
ready for
right,
this?
let's get it.
All right. Question of the week. What kind of dog are you?
Well, when I chose my underdog logo, I chose the golden retriever. You know, I don't think I like the water enough to be a golden retriever, though. I think I might be. I don't know. This is tough. So there's a lot of good dogs, but if you're gonna put me on the spot, I guess I might be like a border collie.
Yeah. All right. All right. That natural athleticism.
Yeah, and I love herding animals. How? All right. How about yourself? What kind of dog are you?
Oh man, it's also a tough question. Honestly, when I thought of this, I don't think I ever really solidified on exactly the dog characteristics that most embody me. I do think maybe I have a little bit of small dog syndrome, where maybe I think I'm a little bit bigger than I am sometimes. So that maybe puts me into that small dog bucket. Um, Honestly, I think maybe like a miniature pincher might be my dog of choice. Um, you know, Kind of fun, agile, slender framed, you know, but also they got the big dog Doberman. Like that, they like when they look in the right mirror, that's what they see.
Yeah, I've only met one Doberman pinscher, and that thing thought he was in charge of everybody. He would chase you around, bark at you, try and bite you. He didn't care.
Yep.
He was in charge.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, well, comment below. Let us know what kind of dog you are. I'm curious. We're gonna be doing some underdog drafts with the data dogs.
Yeah,
So,
digging up that ADP, working it out, watching who's rising, watching who's falling, and hopefully winning money along the way.
yep, for sure.
Wow, we're really still waiting for 5 people here.
Yeah, 5 people.
What else? What do we got going on? Any free agent moves happening this week or anything so
Uh,
far? It's Monday, so it hasn't been long.
yeah, nothing big overnight that I've been really seeing, to be honest. Yeah, I feel like a lot of the big, the big moves happened. I think a lot of these running back moves that are left at this point, wouldn't be surprised if we don't really see them happen till after the draft.
Yeah,
There's a lot of guys in here that I do believe are starting running backs, or at least top two in a split backfield.
right. Yeah,
Um,
I'm interested to see what happens with Kareem Hunt here.
hmm hmm Yeah, Kareem Hunt's one of them. Damian Harris, honestly, is
Yeah,
another one that I'm curious to see what kind of situation he ends up in. Um, then we have like some veterans that could you could see waiting until honestly week 1, week 2
yeah,
to even start signing with some of these teams. Leonard Fournette, Melvin Gordon,
yeah. Wanting to
Latavius
skip the
Murray.
training camp, they don't want to necessarily go through all the effort.
Mm-hmm. What about any of these free agent signings that you feel like were like a red flag for you, or anything that you popped up as a surprise?
You know, Jacoby Myers going to the Raiders was a real surprise to me. I'm not putting too much into it. Like, he's kind of being reunited with his former coach and and quarterback. So it seems like it should be a good situation, but I'm really thinking it's kind of a desperation move where the coach is, on his last leg and he knows he doesn't have much leash. So he's just trying to bring in the guys he knows he feels the most comfortable with. And I don't know. I can kind of see that situation not working out too well for them.
Yeah, the Raiders seem like a team that are kind of floundering in a way. I, you know, using the 5th year option or the franchise tag on Josh Jacobs and doing the trade last year for Devontae Adams and then trading away his best friend and then bringing in like just a more attractive Derek Carr, doing Jimmy Garoppolo, and it's just trading away Darren Waller. It's just everything seems kind of strange still, and
Yeah,
a team that has like this beautiful facility, and like that people want to play there. I mean, obviously, Devontae Adams goes there. There are rumors of Aaron Rodgers going there. So like, and I think it's a franchise that people want to play for. It's a city people want to play in. So like, I don't know. They really need to get it together, and
yeah,
I think we're gonna see a lot of teams entering in this tank for Caleb
yeah.
for next year. I don't
We're already
know.
hearing the buzz about Houston should pass on a quarterback and just load up and ride Mills for one more year and then get Caleb. If they can't get the guy and they've got to settle for number two, I don't know.
Yeah, yeah. I don't know. I still feel like the NFL has to feel pretty good about.
A few of these guys.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, I think so too.
But it's also you're spending premium draft capital on these players. It's a lot for organization. You're really taking a big bet. Um,
Mm-hmm.
what do you think about the rumors of the Arizona Cardinals being in that tank fest position for Caleb next year?
You know, it doesn't doesn't make me feel good about like owning Kyler shares right now. It's a little scary. Um, I gotta wonder where their heads at though, because I do think that Kyler is a good enough guy where if he's healthy, like you just gotta build around him and hope that it's good enough. I think I can't see just Josh roasting Kyler Murray too, and just drafting another guy because you're there.
Yeah, and I don't think he is going to get full on Josh Rosen, but would you be surprised if he gets a little Lamar Jackson, where like maybe they do put him on the block and are surprised that maybe they don't get the amount of interest that
Yeah,
maybe they would expect?
right. Yeah, I can see that happening too. Yeah, I don't understand why some of these teams aren't like going heavy after Lamar because I will stand by it. I still even think that Cleveland didn't pay too much for Deshaun. And that's because if you look at what Cleveland has paid for the worst quarterback play in the league for the last, you know, 20 some years, they paid way more than $230 million. They spent way more than 3 draft picks. At a certain point, it's actually cheaper just to pay your two first for Lamar. Go pay the 180 200 million guaranteed that you're going to have to give him to get him on your team for a few years, and just stop messing around. Because
Right.
I understand why these like every GM thinks that they could just do it in the draft, and that's a great quality to have in a GM, like believing in themselves and trusting their ability to evaluate talent. But at a certain point, like you got to know that the odds are not in your favor necessarily, and that sometimes just taking the sure thing has a value of its own.
Right, right, right. Yeah, no, I mean Watson's a weapon, or not Watson, but Lamar. I mean
Yeah.
Watson also has the potential to be a weapon. We saw him being one of the only quarterbacks at the time going really toe to toe with Patrick Mahomes. So, you know, I know as a Cleveland fan, you see all the Cleveland memorabilia here. We've been waiting a long time for that franchise quarterback, and I know when we passed or we traded out of the Watson pick to the Texans, I really wanted to walk away with Watson in that draft, and he. I wish we had worry-free Watson, and it was just rainbows and sunshine. But I do think that a lot of distractions, a lot of things going on in fantasy. He's not a guy I'm scared of. I'm starting to see people saying that they would take all 3 or 4 of these quarterbacks ahead of Deshaun Watson, and that's nuts. I think Deshaun is still QB9, and at any point could jump into a top 5 yearly finish quarterback.
Yeah, I'm valuing Watson ahead of Lamar a little bit at this point, just with the unknowns with Lamar. So I think I got him somewhere around 6 or 7.
Yeah, the NFL's kind of told you that they value Watson more than Lamar, even with the controversy. There were several teams willing to give up several first round picks
Yeah.
plus pay him guaranteed big money, and we have not seen that move come out of any talks out of Baltimore so far.
Yeah, and I think a lot of that is going to be due to the perception that Lamar like struggles at passing the ball to wide receivers because he has had a lot of success with Mark Andrews, and he's had a relative amount of success with Marquise Brown before they traded him away.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
But I gotta think that part of it is that Lamar never had DeAndre Hopkins and Will Fuller tandem to like get him going because you know Hopkins makes you look good when you can chuck it to him and he just does the rest of the work himself. So
Right. Yeah, Fred Savage looked pretty solid when he was throwing to DeAndre Hopkins in Houston as well. So it's pretty easy when you got a guy like that out there slinging it too.
wait,
So
was it Fred
come on
Savage?
over, on Hopkins. We got some nice property here in Cleveland for you. It's really cheap, affordable property, lakefront,
I
beautiful.
don't know about that.
It's beautiful.
I don't know. I don't want him. Yeah. No, maybe we'll sign Odell again for a little more than $4 million.
Yeah, we got 4.5 on it.
Yeah. All right.
I mean,
What are we waiting on? 3 more people here? All right.
Yeah. Yep. 3 more people.
We're getting closer. Yeah. What else? We saw some running backs move around. We saw Montgomery landing in Detroit.
Oh,
which,
we got the oh, this is my dog here. Sorry.
Hi, Escher.
Here for the underdog draft. We had the Brandon Cooks trade.
Yeah. Oh, that. Yeah. Yeah. You gotta love that.
Yeah, I honestly as a huge CD Lamb fan and owner, it's good for CD Lamb as well. Brandon Cooks plays that field stretcher number 2 position really well. Still allows Lamb to eat up a bunch of targets and still play in the slot. I think that's a good combination. I still wouldn't be surprised to see Dallas add another offensive weapon in this draft.
Right.
Pretty
well,
high.
They're potentially letting Zeke go too, so
Yeah. He's supposedly he just can't be cut until I believe like June 1st. Okay. It was it's kind of like a long whatever that is in his contract. But I will be curious to see if they end up bringing in a Bijan Robinson.
Wouldn't be the craziest thing.
Yeah. They also Jerry's there in Texas, so he's got some eyes on Quentin Johnston as well at TCU.
Yep.
And obviously Texas boy himself, Bijan. Maybe a
All
Roshan.
right, here we go.
Ooh, we getting loaded?
We're getting loaded. Well, maybe after this.
Getting the dogs back together.
All right, where we at?
All right, we are at the 12 spot.
Oh, lovely.
All right. Kind of get to see how the board falls to us a little bit. It's always nice, especially in the first draft. So,
yeah, first one of the year.
Yep. Yeah, so what are you thinking here? As far as projections looking, it looks like there's like that chunk of running backs there, and Taylor, Eckler, Bijan, Barkley. Are you comfortable taking a Bijan in the end of the first, early second round?
Yeah, I mean, I think we got to be looking at like Bijan, Barkley, or Taylor there. With the trade stuff going on with Austin Eckler, I'm just not gonna bet on the unknown, because really the best case scenario for him is he doesn't get traded and stays, with the Chargers. And if he's asking for a trade, we don't know if that situation's ever going to go back to the way it was. So we got Justin Jefferson and Christian McCaffrey coming off the board here.
Yep. Tyreek Hill at the 103. I think you can't deny the amount of spike weeks that you're going to get from a Tyreek Hill. I don't blame anyone taking Tyreek Hill over Jamar Chase, to be honest. Jamar Chase, if we're in Dynasty, we're taking Jamar Chase. But in this format, obviously, you got to take Tyreek Hill.
Yeah. All right. So we got Hill and then Chase.
Yep. So, we got Cooper Kupp on the board, Travis Kelce, Stephon Diggs.
Would you be touching Travis Kelce at number 5?
You do get that position, locked down early, but, I do think that there's a couple other tight ends that I like a little bit later on that I think I can get better value on. So there he goes at the 106, Travis Kelce.
That's
Kansas City's bound to bring in more target competition, and they've got to start at least saving and making sure that they have fresh Kelce in the playoffs. I don't see them giving him 10 targets a game, through the whole season. He just can't sustain that if he wants to draw his career out a little longer.
Right. Yeah, I can agree with that.
All right.
Stephon Diggs. If CD's still there, he's not going to be, but if he's still there.
Yeah, no, very few running backs off the board. Austin Eckler is the second running back off the board, the 109. We got Jonathan Taylor, a little bit of running back run here.
Are we about to get CD?
Oh, CD Lamb off the board.
All right. I'm happy with Bijan if you are.
Yep, and we're gonna have another pick here. So we got Bijan Robinson, and we can turn around. We can go with Saquon Barkley. We got Amon-Ra, Devontae Adams. I don't mind Devontae Adams either.
I think we should stay away from Devontae. Let's go ahead and grab Bijan for sure, and then I'm good with Amon-Ra or Saquon. We could just stack up the hero RBs here, because ultimately we're only going to want to have a few running backs on our roster anyway.
Yeah, I like the idea of kind of loading up on the running backs here early and then having a lot more darts to throw at our wide receiver room.
Exactly.
Yeah, I feel happy about that. Bijan and Barkley, the two unicorn running backs on the same roster.
Yeah, the best prospects to come out in a long time.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's definitely a good strategy to not load up on running back too much in the best ball drafts. Like, most of my league winning best ball drafts from the past year were like maybe 5 or 6 running backs total on the entire team.
Mm-hmm.
And then the rest of it is just dart throws, because, a guy like Van Jefferson or, somebody in that late round who's going to be scoring 15 a few times a year and getting in your starting lineup for basically free.
Yeah, let me
That's
try
what we're looking for.
that quarterback run here we just had. We had Josh Allen, Patrick Mahomes, Jalen Hurts. Bam, bam, bam.
Yeah. Yeah, and so these redraft leagues, I definitely feel a lot more comfortable taking some of those rushing quarterbacks. But in Dynasty, we're seeing that maybe the rushing quarterbacks don't have the durability, and even we had 5 years of Cam Newton, and he was built a lot more than some of these rushing quarterbacks that we are seeing today. So I do question the longevity of some of them in a dynasty best ball league, but here I'm just happy to grab them. So we got
Wide receiver 11 off the board, Garrett Wilson. We talked about him.
yeah.
Receiver 12, Devontae Smith, followed by T. Higgins. Another wide receiver run. So we're one of the only teams going with the RB heavy approach, which if you want to win, you gotta be different. So
Yeah, when everybody zigs, you got a zoink.
you got a Zoinkum, dude.
Yeah.
I've been telling them.
Yeah, and so something else that we're going to be considering as time goes on here is we're going to be looking for some unique stacks and just getting those power plays of, 10 points at a time when we score a touchdown if we can find it. Hey, I got a visitor here too. Say hi.
Oh yeah, nice. My cat actually just joined me on the bed over here.
Yeah, well,
So what are you thinking here? You want to leave this RB room alone? Do you want to dominate down the position a little bit? Looks like we're
okay. Where's the
yeah. I'll pull the player
close?
board back up.
Yeah.
We do have a Justin Fields still on the board. We do have a Mark Andrews who want to grab that tight end.
Yeah. How do you feel about Mark Andrews with the potential of not knowing who the quarterback is going to be there?
I don't think it matters, man. To be
Okay.
honest,
Yeah, I mean, we did.
he performed well with Tyler Huntley, and he's a Pro Bowl quarterback. So, you know, and if you saw him in the Pro Bowl together, he was could not keep his eyes off of his man, Drews.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I would be fine with it. If Nick Chubb or Josh Jacobs is here, it's gonna be really hard not to just get that trifecta and then not worry about the position again until later in the draft here.
Yeah, I do kind of like the idea of a Justin Fields, DJ Moore stack.
Okay, I could definitely be getting on board with that too.
If it does fall to us. I would be interested in focusing in on some potential Trevor Lawrence stacks
Okay.
as our quarterback. So we're up here in 3 picks. ETN, Fields, Stevenson, Cooper, Hopkins, Andrews on the board at the top.
Yeah, we're definitely going to be staying away from Stevenson here.
He just went off the board, so no worries. I do like Travis Etienne's prospects here for this coming year. I think it's going to be a much improved offense in Jacksonville, just more touchdown opportunities. I think he's going to get the same kind of rushing. So there goes Mark Andrews. So that's kind of keeps that decision off of our
Yeah.
our shoulders here.
Yeah, I think at this point we got to take Fields if he doesn't get selected.
Nice.
Yeah.
I think Fields just fell to us. I love it.
Yeah.
Do you want? I think we go ahead and lock up that Justin Fields and the DJ Moore stack together.
Yeah.
And we bet on that offense improving. I like it.
All right. Yeah. And that's the thing is a lot of people are not going to be willing to make the bet on Chicago right now.
Mm-hmm.
They're scared. And we haven't seen this offense really, they earned the number one overall pick. Um, but that's the kind of moves that you got to make if you're going to be different, and it's not about every single one of your drafts being perfect because we're going to continue doing these drafts and each of our teams is going to look a little bit different, and you're just trying to give yourself the best chance of having a winning combination with one of them that nobody else has.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. You wanna have your guys that you obviously you like to have on your rosters, especially in the later rounds. But I think it's good to mix them up. We're gonna do a bunch of these drafts, and you know, Justin Fields might be a guy I absolutely love for 2023, but honestly, he's not even a guy I have a lot in Dynasty.
Right.
He's a guy I can't afford in startup drafts right now, and ended up moving off several of my shares last season. So, you know, at this point, I'm just kind of rooting for the guy. Just as an Ohio State quarterback fan, I just would really like to see one succeed. And after watching him in those playoff games take that hit to the ribs and then just keep going, I'm like, all right, let's go. Justin Fields, he's a winner.
Yeah, I do think this is the make or break year for him, and I've got some faith in the guy to persevere here.
Yep. Sounds like a lot of conversations we were having about Jalen Hurts, to be honest, going into the previous two seasons, honestly. And the guy's just done nothing but show that he wants to play football, and the people around him want to play football with him. And I think that's the kind of guy that Justin Fields reminds me of.
Yeah, and I was against Hurts. I last year was saying, they went out and invested in Brown. They have Smith. When he fails, they're really going to be like, "This is all on you, man." And I was wrong. So I don't know if I'm living in my fear here by saying trying to live out the opposite side of the narrative here, but for one of our $3 leagues here, I'm willing to do it.
Yeah, DJ Moore was a guy I was high on for years. He's probably another player, to be honest. I don't think I have much of anymore.
Yeah, because
but
that was a sell for a while.
A ton of him after his rookie season. Just like a lot of analysts that really just loved his prospect model. I mean, we have been waiting for him to get the quarterback. I don't know if this is the right one, but Fields does have a big arm, so I wouldn't put me past him to be able to get some of those big passes to DJ Moore. All right, we're coming up here again, 6 picks away. We got 2 running backs. We have 1 wide receiver, and we have 1 quarterback. So we do have to start 3 wide receivers, so we could keep focusing in on that position a little bit.
Yeah, I think Oh, go ahead.
Like I said, we do have some running backs here on the board: Dalvin Cook, Jahmyr Gibbs, Aaron Jones, DeAndre Swift, Dameon Pierce, J.K. Dobbins, Javonte Williams.
Man, right now I don't feel comfortable investing in any of them.
Yeah, it's a tough position.
So yeah, let's grab some wide receivers that we feel really good about.
We do have Kyle Pitts, Dallas Goedert.
Oh man, Kyle Pitts.
If we want to get into this last tier of possible high-end tight ends, I think you're looking at it probably with Pitts and Goddard.
Yeah, and Pitts should be in a better quarterback situation, even if Desmond Ridder doesn't improve and they wind up putting Taylor Heineke in. It's going to be a better situation than he had with
Yeah, I could see Pitts popping a Heineke and maybe get a couple cold ones in the end zone.
Yeah, and that's the thing about Heineke too is he's not afraid to sling it.
Exactly. Yeah.
All right, so I struggle with the pick because I picked Kyle Pitts pretty high last year in a few of my best ball leagues, and it didn't pay
Yeah.
off.
But burn me once, pay me again. Maybe. I do
Yeah.
think that the upside is there, and we're
Yeah.
swinging for upside.
Yep.
Here.
All right, let's go ahead and do it. Let's get and then I think we're gonna be staying away from Marquise Brown because who knows what's happening in Arizona this year. We're staying away from JSN because at this point, I don't know if he's gonna perform quite as well. Do we want to go with Brandon Ayuk or dude, George Pickens sitting there? I don't hate it.
I think
We got 11 seconds.
I think we got some times on Pickens. I think we're looking at Tyler Lockett, Mike Evans, Brandon Ayuk.
Go for it. 4, 3, 2.
Oh, we ended up with Jackson Smith and Jigba.
Ah.
I thought I got it clicked in there.
It's all right.
It's all right. Well, we are big JSN fans, so
yeah.
We at this point hope for the best.
Yeah, and he's the guy that he's not going to be quite as valuable in this kind of format because this is a half-point PPR, right?
Correct.
So that possession underneath receiver, he's not going to be getting as many yards. We a little bump down in value in this format compared to some of the other like sleeper leagues that we're used to, but it's still a pick that I guess I can live with.
Right. All right, so right now we're looking at Bijan Robinson, Saquon Barkley. We have Justin Fields, DJ Moore, Kyle Pitts, and Jackson Smith and Jigba. All right, after that we got J.K. Dobbins, Javonte Williams. Honestly, at this point, I feel more comfortable with J.K. Dobbins than I do with Javonte Williams.
Yeah.
I think
Baltimore has shown some real commitment to J.K. Dobbins.
Yeah. And he's also just like shown that he wants to like play football. Like every time I see him, he's like mad that he's like not out there more as he's like dragging his leg behind him. I'm like, all right, dude. Like
dude,
I don't know,
you can't walk.
Yeah, but like he's like, no, I know I can't walk, but I can like drag it. Like I'm like, okay, dude.
Yeah.
Like, but you got to appreciate football players like that. And like he has another off season to recover from that injury. I do think that we are a little too quick to push this modern medicine fixes everything and everybody can return from injury. Like, yeah, like anybody can return from injury, but like it still takes a lot of hard work from the player, and there's a lot of days where like it's got to be really difficult, going through the physical therapy and putting the work in, rebuilding, your dexterity in these and your legs. I think Saquon Barkley is one of those guys I was willing to put that bet on when he tore his ACL because he's just a workaholic, gym rat type of guy. I think J.K. Dobbins is another one that I'm like totally willing to put that bet on. I don't know how Javonte Williams is, to be honest. I know he runs hard, but I haven't seen much, and I do know that the injury damage just sounded so much more extensive.
Ultimately, they've got a 3rd-round pick invested in him, so like I wouldn't like say it's impossible that they might draft another like 3rd or 4th round running back, and if they do that, then it's kind of muddy,
Right. Well, Javonte did go in the early second, so they did invest and they did trade up to get him. But once again, that was a different regime at this point as well. Yeah. So we do have new coach in there. He might look at an Alvin Kamara that's on the block, possibly in New Orleans, and maybe bring him up at some point for nothing. Who knows what they're going to do, but it sounded pretty clear for a while that Denver wants to go very much with a running back by committee.
Yeah. Whoa, did the pick just come off the board? Okay, there we go.
All right, so Traylon Burks, Kadarius Toney, DeAndre Swift.
Man, I don't I don't think Traylon Burks and Kadarius Toney belong on
In
the
the same
board.
sentence.
Yeah. What is happening?
Yeah, at this point, I really like the Deontay Johnson, Jahan Dotson values.
I say yeah, let's go for Jahan here. I like that a lot.
Jahan just went, so that
Oh,
someone else
there.
heard you. Craigulator, um, got to him a little quicker than we did.
Yeah.
It's all right. Gotcha.
Oh, thank you. I feel so much better
Yeah, it's all
now.
right. We'll get it back here. We got Brady Beast Mode
Ooh, let's
on the
invest
clock.
everything in Tyler Algier.
Yeah, it's totally my type of running back. I like to draft, put high draft capital into.
Yeah, no, that's somebody. Do not invest in Tyler Algier. You know, he was very lucky to see the production that he did, and he didn't even really see it till Patterson got banged up. So like, let's not bet on that guy. You know, I advise anybody who has a Tyler Algier share to get off of it for anything.
All right, so we're on the clock here. Um, you know, geez, looking at like Brandon Cooks.
I think we're in Brandon Cook's territory. Yeah, I think let's go ahead and let's grab him for
Then we got
sure.
some rookies here with Jalen Hyatt, Quentin Johnston, that next tier. Um, you
You
know,
know, it's hard for me to bet on the unknown of the rookie at this point. What's
the rest of the board is not super satisfying. As far as running backs go, we got Cam Akers, James Cook, David Montgomery. I don't mind seeing David Montgomery here. You got 5 seconds. I'm gonna go David Montgomery.
do it? Yeah, yeah. We know that Detroit's got that high powered offense. They were one of the top scoring teams through the beginning of the league year last year.
Yeah, yeah. I feel pretty good about where we got him here on the board.
And
We
I see him as better than Williams was last year. So I'll
Yeah, I
take
mean
it.
over Tyler. We got him after Tyler Algier, Jamal Williams, Joe Mixon, and DeAndre Swift, Isaiah Pacheco. Those are probably all guys I would probably have David Montgomery ranked over. I feel like. So yeah, I like it.
Mm-hmm.
I do think at this point, we do have three pretty
Running back.
solid running backs.
Yeah, I don't see us touching that position again unless some insane value just drops in our lap.
Yep. I think we should probably take two more running backs total.
Yeah.
Go into the year with probably about five of them, just because of the bye
Mhm.
weeks and injuries. Things do pop up, so it's good
Yeah,
to grab up.
and I think this is where we could kind of go to our ranks and maybe look at a guy late in the draft like a Kendra Miller that like a lot of people might not even be considering here. And
Yeah,
we could
yeah.
probably snag him up in the last couple of rounds. You know, we can make a bet on somebody later, like a Charbonnet or a Miller or something.
Yeah, definitely. Even a Tajay Spears, I'm willing to throw some late round darts on.
Yeah. Well, even like we finally saw Sean Tucker's pro day, and after not seeing him perform at the combine, and I liked what I saw.
Okay, yeah. Actually, I haven't got a chance to check out his pro day stuff yet.
Yeah, he was looking good. I mean, maybe not 100% of what we thought at the beginning of this year's draft process, um, but yeah, I do think he's in that discussion of like that second or third tier running back in this class. So a guy
Hmm.
who could become a weekly starter.
Nice. Maybe we'll get lucky and we'll get a Jackson Smith and Jigba uh, reunion with Justin Fields and get that triple stack that that we were looking for in Chicago. That could be fun. I think it would actually be a good pairing with a DJ Moore.
Yeah, well, they're gonna have wide receiver. Well, if you consider Chase Claypool a wide receiver, they're gonna
Yeah,
have
and
wide
once you give
receiver.
him flex over into that tight end position, he's gonna be rocking it out.
Yeah.
All right, let's pull up the board here. We got some picks coming up here in 8 picks.
Just a
So you
lot
think
of.
we're gonna lean on this wide receiver position?
Let's see. Just scroll down a little bit there, and let's see. Uh, I mean,
We
we
have
could.
Darnell Mooney.
I wouldn't. I also wouldn't be sad about maybe. Oh, dude, Aaron Rodgers is sitting there. Like, you think we should pick up our quarterback too?
I don't think so. I think we can wait on that because
Okay.
there are at this point, 12 teams. Even for all of us to have 2 quarterbacks, I'm not looking to have one of the better ones at this point.
Okay.
With going so high on our quarterback with Justin Fields,
Okay.
I'm
I
just
can live
happy
with
with like
that.
a Geno or a Derek Carr.
Yeah. Kenny Pickett, maybe. I think we
Yep.
could see
Yeah.
him take
Yeah.
a big
Yeah.
step forward.
One of these rookie quarterbacks and shoot for some upside.
Yeah. Yeah. Maybe in a round or two. Like, yeah. We'll see. We'll see how this is falling to us.
There's Michael Thomas off the board. We still got Zay Flowers, Darnell Mooney, Donovan Peoples-Jones.
Yeah, dude. Let's do the Cleveland thing and take our boy DPJ.
Go DPJ and Mooney.
Oh, dude. Who do you? I mean, Thielen's gone. How are we feeling about KJ Osborne? Like,
Yeah, I do like some KJ Osborne. I feel like that might be a little early. They're probably going to bring somebody in to complement Justin Jefferson.
I can see that.
But I do think that. So there goes DPJ. So we got Kamara, Mooney, Cousins, Fryermuth, Dillon, Rogers, Moore, Osborne, Penny, Jalen Hyatt.
You know,
All right,
I don't hate the Muth here either. Um,
I'll take some KJ Osborne here. I'm
okay.
down with that. We're shooting darts. And do you want to also go with the bet on Chicago?
I just don't know how I feel about Darnell Mooney.
Okay.
I almost kind of like taking Fryermuth here because we do know Pitts has had some injury history, and like Muth is kind of a good backup. We know between the two, we're going to get a good tight end week pretty much every week.
Sure. All right. Yeah. We'll lock in a little bit more of the position here.
I'm just not liking the. I don't want to reach too far right here on any of these, like Tyler Boyd. You know, he's a definitely a great best ball wide receiver, but it doesn't feel right yet. You know.
Right.
I love Alan Lazard for best ball. Like he was basically free for last year, and he's basically free again this year, and he's gonna get in your starting lineup a lot.
Yeah, and KJ Osborne's shown those multiple touchdown ceiling games, and he's a guy I do feel like when you're shooting for that kind of upside, not that anybody wants to see it, but if Justin Jefferson misses some time next year, KJ Osborne is going to skyrocket up your weekly rankings.
Yeah.
Regardless of another rookie that's brought in or not. So
yeah, the one like I've heard a lot of Quentin Johnston to the Vikings that
okay.
that they're kind of linked there, and where they expect him to go is kind of around their pick. And that can be pretty savage, but I don't think he's ready to step on the field as an NFL wide receiver too and carry the load.
Yeah, and I could also see just Minnesota in general, like not evidently wanting to invest first round draft capital in another wide receiver, just knowing that they're going to have to pay Justin Jefferson an absurd amount of money here pretty soon.
Mm-hmm.
And if they're going to also have to follow that up with maybe paying another, like the T. Higgins, Jamar Chase situation that Cincinnati is going to be facing here pretty soon, Where like, are you going to be able to pay both of these alpha wide receivers alpha wide receiver money?
Right.
And is one of them willing to take a pay cut to play with the other? So,
Right. Yeah, these guys, I think they're realizing more and more that, like, hey, it's not personal. Like, as much as they love playing on teams together, like, go get that money. Go make sure that your kids and your grandbabies and their kids are all taken care of.
right,
You got that opportunity, take it.
right. It's it's crazy. These general managers, I mean, they literally, when they're paying these players guaranteed money, it's you put that money in escrow and until they're ready to cash out. So, I know with the Bengals owner, I see your tail. With the Bengals owner, he's not evidently like a lot of these other NFL owners. He's one of the original ones. That doesn't have like a ton of money. He wasn't a billionaire, oil investor or gas station owner or whatever.
Yeah.
So it's a lot harder for him to put down that cash to lock down those guys. But it
Oh,
it sounds like they're all pretty committed to staying with each other. I bet Joe takes some Southern Ohio River discount moving from Athens over to Cincinnati. I
yeah.
guess they
I,
just
I think it
love
makes a
him.
little bit more sense for a guy like Joe Burrow to take a bit of a discount because he's gonna make his money. He's gonna be in the league for a long time. Just the
Yeah,
way that he plays, he could be the next. I don't know. It's ridiculous to think that anybody could do what Tom Brady has done and play that long, but like he could be the next guy that is playing into his 40s.
yeah, he sure looks like the guy that could be doing it. Like if I were to put my money on a guy, it's going to be that kind of skill set. So,
Oh man,
all right, we're up in 5
Wandale.
picks.
Wandale came off. I wanted Wandale. I love
Wandale.
I love Wandale.
It's all right. Where there's a Wandale, there's probably a Rondale.
Yeah, but I don't know if we want. Do we want anybody off of Arizona? Zay is fallen, isn't he? Like he's been up at the top there for a minute.
Zay Jones.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was projected one up. There he goes. Never mind. He's projected 137.
Yeah, I think at this point, like with us taking Muth, we're going to be trying to maybe aim for Pickett for whenever we do get our next quarterback, just to try to pick up a stack of some sort.
Mm-hmm.
I feel great about Sky Moore here. I think that we saw him step it up in the playoffs a little bit, and I do think that he's going to be a guy that makes that second year step. I don't know. What are you thinking?
Yeah, I was actually kind of thinking similar kind of thoughts about Josh Downs. Actually, is like this is kind of like where I like to start taking. We got burned on Jahan Dotson earlier. I feel like you could probably get your this year's Jahan Dotson now, a couple
Right.
rounds later with a Josh Downs. Um,
Yeah, it's somebody that early in the process that I know both of us really liked. I was
yeah, and
kind
I
of
think we'll get that first round draft capital. I'm down with taking both Downs and more.
let's do it. Let's double downs.
Double Downs, take some mores.
Yeah.
And I think Sky Moore rounds later than Kadarius Toney is definitely a
Right.
good bet.
Over Sky Moore over the guy who can't stay on the field.
I do like some Antonio Gibson at 12-2. To be honest,
That
I
wasn't a
think them
bad pick.
getting rid of J.D. McKissick in Washington, bringing in Eric Bieniemy, who really loved
What's the
this.
quarterback situation in Washington as it sits right now?
Right now, it's they brought in a veteran, which Kobe Brissett,
Yep.
and then they have the backup or incumbent starter in Sam Howell, who did look good in the preseason, and he looked good in that last game. So I know the startup that we're in right now. I took a late round flyer on Samuel Howell and see if we can get Howell to move that Commander's Castle.
Yeah. Yeah, you got to think that they're gonna take a shot on a quarterback for sure at some point in the draft, and I don't know whether that's going to be like Stetson Bennett or Tanner McKee later if they feel good about Howell, or maybe if they're not certain, maybe they're going for Hendon Hooker a little bit earlier. But I
Hmm.
don't think they get up to any of the top four guys necessarily. I think they're a little too far down to trade up that far.
Yeah, and Washington is a team. I mean, they're ready to compete. To be
Mm-hmm.
honest, and I think they've got a lot. Their offense looks good. I think Brian Robinson plays his role very well. I think Gibson is going to be a really good breather back with the receiving prowess that he has. They have three offensive weapons there that are both fast and play their roles very well. Terry McLaurin, Jahan Dotson, and Curtis Samuel. Um, I think they just right now they just need to lock in that quarterback spot. The defense with Chase Young and Montez Sweat, a couple other. I'm sure there's some other great defense players I'm blanking on at the moment, but
Yeah.
uh, yeah,
I see Anthony Richardson near the top of the board right now, and I'm just gonna advise anybody who is doing an underdog draft, don't take Anthony Richardson this year. I don't think. I think it could be there could be a few weeks where it really pays off, but I think we're getting 10+ weeks of him not even having a chance to be in your lineup.
yeah, yeah, yeah. I think yes, as tantalizing as that ceiling is, and I'll probably walk away with one
Yeah,
or so, just because it's good to diversify your
yeah,
portfolio. But yeah, I'm with you. I think that there's a better chance that Anthony Richardson doesn't start any games in 2023 than he does and goes out and wins you a lot of money in a best ball league.
yeah.
So another guy I'm also concerned about playing much next year is Kyler Murray, who just went at the 12-10.
Yeah, it's decent. I mean, it's decent out of a 20 round draft, like to grab him there. Because, I mean, he could be back as early as I think week 5 or 6, or he could be gone for quite a while. So it's it's a bet.
Yep, yep. I have so much Kyler Murray. It's a tough situation going into this year, and into the future. To be honest,
Well, that also Kyler Murray is kind of the story of why it's so important to cash in on your player values when they rise up, and get into the safest asset that you can, because we knew the whole time that Kyler Murray was going to be a volatile asset.
hmm right, right. Yeah, you were just riding that those points as long as you could get them.
Mm-hmm.
But I do think that he's not done. I think even with he's got a solid arm, and even with maybe a little bit of a cut in his athleticism for this year, it's still a guy I'm I'm investing in Dynasty. I have no problem still taking him in the second round of startups. Um, you just got to understand that you're not likely going to be getting a reliable playoff push from Kyler Murray,
Right.
and also know that there's going to be times where you want to sell them that you need to literally just stone hand onto Kyler, because at any point that you sell him between now and probably the start of 2024 is probably going to be a loss on investment.
Right.
All right,
Yeah.
we're 2 picks away here.
I like
Um,
Alec Pierce a lot right here, for sure. That's jumping off the page at me because I do think he's getting a quarterback upgrade.
All right, we're taking wide receivers here. You got one, I got one. We got Samuel, we got Claypool, we got Scantling.
No
Down here we have a Tajay Spears, a Damian Harris, or Sean Tucker's. So yeah, I'm going to take a shot on Alec Pierce. It does. I do wonder what the Indy situation is going to be. If they are the one who's ended up with a Richardson, then maybe I'll be a little more concerned about that.
Yeah.
Um,
I do think that they're going to maybe focus in on getting a quarterback that is more ready to go, since not only is their team ready, but it's been ready. And, you can't keep that together for too long.
we seem to be about here at the ADP for a Kenny Pickett, so I'll go
Let's do
ahead
it.
and get that locked in for our Fryermuth Kenny Pickett stack.
Yeah, we got both of us have Pickett as one of our risers this year. Like it's just kind of what Pittsburgh does in developing their guys, and like every time people are trying to count them out or say that they're not that good, they take what they have, they make it work, and they get to the playoffs. And I gotta think that that's gonna elevate Pickett a little bit this year.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think he has a lot of the Daniel Jones type riser potential. If we believed in Brian Daboll as this quarterback coach and he could develop, Daniel Jones to a great quarterback, I just believe in the Pittsburgh organization to develop really just about anybody, and especially a quarterback. Even when Ben was struggling and having, off the field issues, the organization was always there standing by him and giving him, seemed to be what he needed as far as offensive line, skill position weapons, and they got a good run game that Kenny can lean on. He's got good outlet weapons, good wide receivers. I don't see any reason why the Steelers couldn't be you know, once again, don't bet on them to ever go below 500. What do you think, Grimlock? Is that a Grimlock? You gonna lock it in?
I think so. He likes
Nice,
it. He had a lot to say about Kenny Pickett there.
nice. Yeah, one was going. Daniel Jones going up there in the 9th round. What do you think about Daniel Jones and Trey Lance going back to back?
Yeah, I mean, in season long, you got to feel a lot better about Daniel Jones this year than you do Trey Lance. And see, like, I think it's a mistake to, not take any Trey Lance in underdog, but I'm not going to be focusing on him. I'm not going to be taking him on a high percentage of the teams at all, because that's a bet where it's going to pay off big or it's going to hurt you big, because you can't just work the wire and just, pick up that Richie James that's scoring 20 points a week for whatever reason,
Yeah,
to,
certainly.
to get that goose egg off your roster.
All right, so we're coming back around here. We got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 picks left. I think we're probably done with the quarterback position.
Definitely. I think we're set on tight end.
I think we're probably set on the tight end position. I do think we should probably pick up 2 more running backs.
Yeah.
And then maybe just go ahead and finish out with the wide receivers.
Well, do you want to take the running backs right now?
I'm thinking that that's a possibility.
Yeah, let's see what's fallen to us.
Board.
I'm really a fan of the idea of trusting our ranks of the rookies, and Roshan Johnson right here potentially.
Yeah, we have Damian Harris, Roshan Johnson, Terrace Marshall, Tyquan Thornton. It's kind of that Thornton just went. Nico Collins.
I like Collins here for sure. Like Collins has never had a good quarterback, and odds are we're getting one this year. I could Kendra, and I could I'd be super happy with that Nico Kendre double tap. If Rojo's still there,
I
like
could also be Rojo,
I mean, we
just for
can.
the fact that I do believe that, like, I don't think I'm willing to also bet on that Texans offense to be
Okay.
vastly improved.
Do you want to do like the two young guys that we love here, and Roshan
Yeah,
and
I think we
Miller?
should go for the two guys that we like.
Yeah,
Um, we,
let's
we
do that.
got we got
I'm all.
Roshan, we got
I will
Kendrick.
always bet on my takes.
Yep, same.
So
I know we're both big on both these players, so it's gonna be fun fighting over them in or in rookie draft season. Jeez, man, it's
yeah.
only about a month away. Are you excited?
Honestly, yeah, I am excited. I'm getting a little worn out in the process here. I'm just ready for it to happen. I'm ready to stop this, movement of players just based on last week's takes. I'm ready for some solid, you know, ideas about what's going on here, and like I
Yeah,
want to see landing spots already.
yeah. No, totally. It's fun to talk about it. It's fun to mock about it, but let's really be about it.
Yeah. So here, yeah, we're no longer. I mean, I think we could just look at wide receiver from here on out, and we don't even have to pay attention to the ADP. We can just be, getting our guy.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, it'll be good to look at this to make sure we're not letting any value
Big
slide
values
too
fall.
far. Yeah. What do you think about Paris Campbell?
In New York,
Yeah,
you
he's
know,
never had a full healthy season, but when we do see him on the field, it's been good.
yeah, he's definitely an explosive player. New York apparently just loves slot receivers, so they're
Yeah,
just gonna have
Wandale, Hodgins, Campbell. Yeah.
yeah. And
Um,
I've seen a lot of mock drafts with them taking Addisons and
mhm.
Zay Jones or Zay Flowers as well, like a lot of these other slot receivers. So I don't know. It's definitely a guy in best ball I'll take a few darts on, but
Mhm.
not someone I'm going to be shooting a lot of shots on at this point.
Yeah, Van Jefferson is somebody I've got a lot of best ball investment in, and I like that pick. Dude, what do you think about Vishka?
Yeah, Lavishka's another interesting one in Carolina. They're seeming to be trying to bring in weapons, so
So yeah, he's risky. Yeah, I don't know. Who do we think guarantees us the most points at this point in the draft?
I don't think there's any guarantees at this point, to be honest. Um, at this point, you're just
Oh,
shooting.
I love Russell Gage.
You're so gauged, dude. Yeah, I do like, guys that we like, Marvin Mims.
Yeah, it's in these underdog drafts. I do think that getting too rookie heavy can be a trap. There is the possibility that by selecting all rookies, you're getting the best values because people are undervaluing them because they haven't seen these guys perform. But
Right.
that's a big gamble.
I mean, it's big gambles at this point on any of these guys that could or
Yeah,
could not be the wide receiver 3s or 4s in their offense.
yeah,
So, like, I'm just looking at a guy that profiles like a Tyler Lockett that is going to give me a strong second half of the season when I need it in the
yeah,
playoffs.
yeah,
Because I'm relying at this point that the rest of my team is going to get me there
yeah.
in the first half of the year. That's how I will, like, a lot of times take these late round bets. I'm betting on athleticism. So I say You take a guy and I'll take a guy, and we'll put $10,000 on who scores the most points.
Yeah, I mean, if I'm picking off the top of that list, I'm taking Jefferson. It's a guy I feel like Cup's going to be, if anything, his value is going to be capped, if not slightly going down a little bit, and that workload's got to go somewhere.
Sam Howell on here is QB 29.
Wow.
How do you feel about Michael Carter's maybe first half ability with maybe a slow return from a Brees Hall?
I do think Michael Carter fills the Aaron Jones role in a Aaron Rodgers led offense a little bit better than and obviously Brees is good, but anybody that they're going to have there until he's healthy, I think that Carter could be like a mini Aaron Jones.
Yeah, to Zonovan Knights, Jamal Williams.
Mm-hmm.
Like, maybe both of them being a little bit light versions of their forefathers. Yeah, no, I kind of like that as a possible early season filler. Maybe, a team like this where you're like betting on like a Roshan and Tajay Spears to maybe start to ramp up later in the season. You have a Brandon Cooks that's maybe you can't rely on for the entire 17 game slate.
Mm-hmm.
This is where you're like, I hope Cooks gets me through to my Mims.
Right.
And same thing with some of those running backs. You're looking to build a full season out of these players. It's hard to project any of them are actually going to actually give you full 17 games. All right. One more pick. Your boy Van Jefferson just went. You're going to have to give me another one. And Marvin Mims. Ouch, ouch. So we got McCole Hardman, Slayton, Robinson, Rice. Yeah. We can go to one of those running backs we were talking about.
I think we might have to on this first pick.
You got about 5 seconds.
Let's go for the running back on the first pick here.
Shit. I just lost it. Trey
Carter.
McBride.
Oh, all right. Yeah, let's take Carter here, too.
All right, there we go. Well, 3 tight ends. Honestly, I don't even hate it that much. Tight end is a position that does get kind of banged up. And we talked about the volatility of Pitts a little bit. So we'll go ahead and back that up a little bit with the Trey McBride.
So you're gonna want to go one of two ways. I think in these underdogs drafts, and that's you're either gonna want to back up your weak spots so that you still have a potential of getting into the money if one of your big guys goes down, or you're just gonna want to do a large volume of drafts and then make big bets on different guys in each one of them. And so, in some of those leagues, the guys that you made big bets on are going to go down. But if you do enough of them, that can really pay off. Like if you've got a team where you've just got Pitts and maybe like one later tight end, if Pitts stays healthy, like that could be a smash because it's going to give you a chance to pick up value everywhere else. But yeah, so you got to kind of consider your strategy. You know what strategy you're going to go into each draft with, and don't get stuck in picking the same guys. Just have like tiers of guys, and know like, okay, I want to pick up this many wide receivers, and find the guys that that can fill those roles.
Yeah, don't look to play too safe. Playing safe and playing for, we have a buddy of ours that used to always be like, well, as long as I get, 12 to 15 points a game from all my players, that's all that matters. I'm like, well, that's all that matters if you want to like just make it into the playoffs and then probably get eliminated. But
Yeah.
if you want to win championships, like you gotta shoot for the ceiling on a few of your players.
You got to have guys that can score 40.
Yes, yep. And I think with us, yeah, we can look at our wide receiver room: DJ Moore, JSN, Brandon Cooks, KJ Osborne, Josh Downs, Sky Moore, Alec Pierce, and be like, well, there's not a lot of big stud names in here, but we do have a Bijan Saquon room. We drafted early on a Justin Fields. We're hoping for some position dominance with the Kyle Pitts and Pat Fryermuth. So, yeah, you're not going to have all four of your positions just locked in with studs. You're going to have to short stock a little area to kind of.
You got to make it happen somewhere.
Yeah, yep. And just know where you feel the most comfortable also taking those darts. Raymond and I are both feel really comfortable kind of with some of our late round wide receiver darts. After doing a draft here now, we might look at some of these running back values that are available now and be like, well, maybe we would have been better off taking 2 wide receivers early and going Devontae Adams, and then Saquon Barkley, or Devontae Adams and Garrett Wilson, or Amon-Ra.
Yeah.
We'll change it up. We'll mix it up.
Yeah, and we're going to be doing these at least once a week. So,
yep.
We're going to see different strategies. We're going to see different teams. Who you're drafting against has a big part of it too.
Yeah. Yep. Yeah, as we're wrapping up here, hopefully you're still tuned in. Comment below. Let us know where we messed up. Let us know where you think we got some value. Let us know your favorite players that you thought we grabbed. Who are you picking in your startups? Who are you taking in your underdog drafts? We want to hear everything.
Yeah.
All right, got 5 more picks, and this is the.
This is it. Yep, 19 and 20. This is it. So.
This is it. All right, who you eyeballing here, Mr. Ramo? We still trying to knock out these wide receivers here. Still got the Vishka still here.
The guy has such upside. I don't hate taking a shot on it.
I would be curious on some possible KJ Hamler in some of these late rounds. Yeah. I think there's a possibility that one of these Denver wide receivers gets moved.
Yeah. Yeah, it doesn't seem like Hamler is necessarily the guy that would get moved either. It does seem maybe more like it. It's probably Courtland Sutton, you think?
Judy seems to have the most appeal. I just don't know if people want to pay what Denver's asking.
Yeah, that would be an interesting one because I
like that 1910 Puka Nacua.
Yeah,
I like it. My boy Puka.
Yeah, it says Corey Davis is still with the Jets, but I'm pretty sure they let him go.
Yeah. Let's
Ooh, dude, you know what name I just saw that I don't hate? We got a lot of running backs.
All right, go quick.
Jerome Ford? I don't know. Grab Vishka to because we know he's just the explosive playmaking.
We'll just take Laviska. We'll lock it in. It's best ball. There we go.
That Jerome Ford pick, Nick Chubb is going to be, 27 going into this year? 28 sometime during the football season, I believe. He's, they're turning Nick Chubb more into a committee guy. So, Jerome Ford's going to be in there. He's going to have a lot of weeks where, he's scoring 15 or more, and he's going to sneak into that flex spot.
Yep. A little insider knowledge from the Inside Cleveland sports fans over here.
Yeah.
Cool. All right. Well,
Let's
wrapping up this draft,
yeah,
and
let's get one. Can we see one more look at the team here before we
yeah,
hop
yeah,
out of here? See what our money bought us. This $3 team here.
right. All right. So quarterbacks, we're looking at Justin Fields and Kenny Pickett. Running backs, we got Bijan Robinson, Saquon Barkley, David Montgomery, Roshan Johnson, Kendre Miller, Michael Carter, and Jerome Ford. Going with the aggressive running back
Yeah, that's
room.
definitely one or two more than I ideally would like to have, but like that's the value that's falling to us. And this it's something that we might see happen in like our dynasty leagues as well, is the pendulum go to where people are undervaluing the running backs, and then maybe it's time to like load up on them a little bit more than like consensus is saying, because the value's there.
Yeah, I mean, what kind of world would you have thought in a single quarterback picking at the 112 where you would get Bijan Robinson and Saquon Barkley in a season long draft?
Right.
I mean, 2-3 years ago, that would have never happened. Well, in Saquon Barkley's rookie year, he was going top 6 in rookie drafts, or in startups and in season long. So, yeah,
Yeah.
I think that's really good value there at the running back position. And then wide receivers, we have DJ Moore, Jackson Smith and Jigba, Brandon Cooks, new wide receiver of the Dallas Cowboys, KJ Osborne, Josh Downs, Sky Moore, Alec Pierce, and Laviska Shenault. In our tight end room, Kyle Pitts, Pat Fryermuth, and Trey McBride.
All right. Yeah. I think it's a really interesting team. I don't know if this is going to be our money winning draft, but hey, that's why we're just going to keep doing it. It's not about having one perfect draft. It's about getting to the practice of working through it and being able to make those decisions quickly and
Yep. Once
realizing
again,
where the value pockets are.
exactly. That's why we're the data dogs. We're here to dig up that data, these ADPs, so you don't have to go waste your $3. We'll waste our $3 for
Yeah.
you.
Watch us waste $3 and then you can make awesome decisions.
Yes. Don't make the same dumb. Don't let JSN get auto picked onto your roster, or
Don't
Trey
auto
McBride.
pick. Yeah.
Don't do those same things. We're here to make sure that you spend your $3 wisely,
Yeah.
and you win lots of money. So we're looking forward to making more of these. You can say tune in. We're gonna get the live stream going, and once again, don't forget to follow us, subscribe, like, and comment.
Yeah, send us some trades for our trade show. Look out. We're going to be doing some mock drafts, and we want to get you guys involved. So it's not just us giving you our takes. Yeah.
All right, guys. What kind of dog are you? Woof.
Oh.